Rebekah,
What?
dinosaurs
What? What about him?
thundering across the screen.
Oh, God.
Yes, many of them.
Oh, no.
Just
a whole 2. Maybe 2.5.
You've got 2. There's a fish, a fish lizard.
Uh-huh.
And if you're lucky, there will be a made-up one that nobody really likes.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So, we are talking about the new Jurassic World ride.
Yeah, at Universal Studios.
Universal, the land of mediocrity.
Basically.
I shouldn't say that. There are actually some pretty damn good Universal rides.
Yeah. But sometimes. But sometimes,
though. Hey, well, Disney's had their fair share of hiccups.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, and ever since Universal, did Harry Potter, I'd say they finally become like a real competitor.
Yeah. Well, it's like I criticize Universal a lot, but ultimately I would like them to succeed, partially because, one, it just gives you another really cool theme park to go to, but also because it makes Disney do better. Like,
yeah, competition.
Yeah, keeps Disney on its toes. So,
I mean, Universal, I feel like, yeah, you and I talked about this the last episode. I'm Matt, by the way.
I'm Rebekah.
Yep.
I hope you know who we are.
The only 2 people on this channel. I feel like, because you and I talked about how last episode, we need to get back over to Japan and go to do like a theme park tour.
Yeah, because I've never been to the Universal there.
The Universal there, it's pretty cool. I had a good time.
I have heard from most sources that it's like the best of the Universal parks.
It's definitely profitable. That's what I was told, was that out of all the Universal parks, that's the one that's the most profitable, and that's the one, and it shows because they put a lot of their work into it. Like like the Jurassic Park ride in Osaka, like they keep it up to date, and they repaint the dinosaurs and they clean them up and make them nice.
What a concept.
They also still have a bunch of rides that aren't here anymore, like the Terminator 4D, and which isn't really a ride, but you know what I mean. And Jaws, they still have Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaws would be cool to still have.
Yeah. It's not like it's a modern cinematic classic or anything.
No, don't worry about it.
No, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious, though.
Furious and faster. Anyway.
Show me a person who knows each and every one of those movies and its characters in chronological order. I'm sure they're out there. I just want to have a conversation with them.
I want to know what kind of person you are.
I want to know your brain.
So
anyway,
the big kicker, though, is that this beloved ride at both Universal Studios, well, it's at all the Universal theme parks, as I understand it. Jurassic Park. Jerpicked. Which is, of course, based on the classic film of the same name.
It's an old ride, too.
96.
Yeah, it came out fairly soon after the movie itself, I believe, yeah?
Well, apparently they were working on the ride before the movie was even done.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah. So, they...
Wasn't Jeff Goldblum at, the opening day ceremony?
I don't remember, but
someone was. Someone was. I think it was Jeff Goldblum. Maybe it was someone else from the movie, but yeah.
Let's do I'm curious now. Okay.
Gonna do a Google on that one.
Jeff Goldblum. Okay, the first things that come up are Jeff Goldblum wife, Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum age, Jeff Goldblum movies, and Jeff Goldblum net worth.
Cool.
Good. Okay, opening day Jurassic Park the ride. You guys get to hear the comical clacks of my giant keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Got some good Foley work going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he and Steven Spielberg were both there.
Yeah. They were there for, like the rope drop, basically.
Yeah, for the opener.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun. So
So it's a classic ride in terms of like universal rides.
yeah, I mean, I remember when it was new,
Mm-hmm.
and like I remember like, oh my god.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
and I mean the ride itself is kind of a technological achievement, or at least it was at the time.
Mm-hmm. At the
Because
time, yeah, it was very impressive.
at the time, um, but because the dinosaurs all essentially had to be hydraulic because they were exposed to the elements, they were outdoors, they were all animatronics. And unfortunately, even though they're pretty impressive, they're kind of the first things to start to go.
Yeah, animatronics that are outside, especially ones that are in water,
Oh
you
yeah.
have to do constant maintenance on. I did a tour of like the Disney World parks a couple years ago.
Yep.
It was like an 8-hour tour, did
An
all 4
8 hour
parks, like it was cool. But
Uh-huh.
at one point we got to go into one of their big warehouses, and basically they're like, yeah, this is the warehouse where we put stuff that we're repairing, like things that are being refurbished, things that are being repaired. They're like, you'll almost always see you'll see a Dumbo in here, you'll see a magic carpet, things that just like we got to take them out, repaint them every now and then, just because that's the cost of maintenance.
Right.
And at one point we saw some like animatronics, and they were like, oh yeah, those are some hippos from the Jungle Cruise, and they're like, you will always see at least 1 to 2 of those guys in there because they take so much maintenance because they constantly sit in water. Like they are just on constant rotation for maintenance because the water does so much wear and tear on them, and it's like, yeah, you have to keep up with it.
I mean, I my snake's water bowl has a permanent calcified rim around it.
Yep.
And I try to make sure she's got fresh water and everything. I'm not a monster. My poor animals aren't just sitting here drinking out of sewage pipes. um, and even then, I'm just like, oh God, like how can I get this off? And I'm doing all this research, and it's like I would essentially have to like scour it
Yeah.
and but anyway, yeah, so water is the devil.
Basically. Don't
And
trust it.
yes. Wait, who was the comedian who was like talking about water, and he was like, never touch the stuff, fish fucking it. Don't remember who that was, and it's delightful. I feel like that's just my life.
Very good.
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park, the
Yeah.
ride. So, for people who are unfamiliar with the ride, first of all, if you can, I encourage you to go look up ride videos of the original ride on YouTube. I'm sure they're out there.
Oh, yeah, a ton of them.
If you don't want to do that and you're unfamiliar, a quick overview of the ride is it is a classic. Essentially, it is a classic boat ride with a drop, like a splash drop.
Yeah.
Think Splash Mountain, think all those other rides where like you go in the boat ride and then you go down the big hill and it splashes fucking everybody.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those, but it's Jurassic Park themed. So like you get on the boat and you're going through Jurassic Park, because apparently they're doing boat tours at Jurassic Park now.
Oh yeah. Well, it's based specifically, as a quick interjection, it's actually based on a scene in the book that never made it into the movie.
Yeah, because there were supposed to be like boat tours at the Jurassic Park, and at one point, yeah, that happens in the book. I guess in later movies too.
Well, they've done River E stuff in the later movies, but yeah.
But anyway, so that's what you're doing, and you ride the little boat, and you see some animatronics. You see some like, I don't know, like what all were there in the opening.
Do you need me to take over the species naming part?
I just don't remember everything that was in the beginning part.
So there's the first thing you see is, well, they call them ultrasaurs, but we now know that an ultrasaur is just a really big brachiosaur.
Yeah.
So you see brachiosaurs, and they're like the big showstopper because they're these giant animatronics.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be the big wow moment.
Yeah. Kind of like the gate open moment where you're like, ooh, Jurassic Park.
Ooh, you got some dinosaurs.
Were the
Yeah.
stegosaurs there, or was that new for like the refurbish?
No. You eventually get to the stegosaurs. It starts with I'll just go down a quick species list of the first section you see, because it's Ultrasaur Cove or whatever, and it's these two brachiosaurs. And then you go down a little ways. There's sodocosaurs or sodosaurs. They're these kind of parrot-beaked looking smaller ceratopsians. They're small plants. They're not in the movies, but they are in the books. And then you get to the stegosaur kind of cove area, and that's where you see the baby stegosaur and the big mama stegosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the hadrosaur. I think they're all just coves. Then you get to the hadrosaur cove, and that's where the Parasaurolophus is, which is the duckbill with the long crest on its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, that's kind of the end of the herbivore section. And you start to go towards the man, it's late and I'm blanking on words.
It's where all the carnivores are.
That's the word. Yeah, you start going towards the carnivore section, but oh shit, there's been a breakout. But don't worry, folks. You know, and you see some of the classic, like, this is like the section where suddenly there's no animatronics.
Yeah. Weird. It actually is kind of spooky because there's like no animatronics. There's a lot of damage. You see another boat that gets pushed off of like it's a car. Mm-hmm. I think it's this. In some of the versions of the ride, there's the scene from the movie where the car gets pushed off the cliff.
Yeah,
and I think it looks like it's gonna fall on you.
Does it? I don't remember that, but I only rode the one in Hollywood, so.
Okay, yeah, that's what I remember. And then there's and if I remember correctly, I think the hadrosaur, in the earlier section of the park, you're about to be evacuated because they're like, oh, there's been a breach. You know, we have escaped dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be evacuating you guys. And then a hadrosaur comes up and basically knocks you off course into like the thick of the of Dino Land USA over there. You guys want to go on the tilt-a-whirl?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, it's like there's suddenly no animatronics. You see busted open cages. I think the most that they do in terms of like moving shit is I think they have some bushes where they shake them. Where it's ooh, what's in there?
Ooh, what's in there?
Oh.
Oh goodness.
No.
And then and it's because it's the raptor paddock that's been that's broken out, and then of course, you know, what follows is the ramp, essentially. Into this really industrial kind of like alien-esque.
Yeah, you go into a building. No idea what it is. It's just a generic Jurassic Park building.
It's scary. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, all the lights are out. Like you can tell it's been like a power outage.
You can hear like people screaming and being torn apart.
Yeah, it's real great.
It's good
for the
kids.
Family.
Bring the family and get eaten by a dinosaur.
At one point, like you start to see raptor animatronics around. At one point, like a vent in the ceiling opens and a raptor comes out, fucking holding like wires.
yeah, it's like Freddy Krueger. It's just like, I'm your boyfriend now. It's
so goofy, where it's like, is he like tearing those apart? Okay.
Yeah, he did that, or
I
she
want-
did that rather.
I want it to come out and just be like, well, here's your problem.
Oh my god, that's the funniest shit I've heard in a while. What's going on here is you.
Somebody bit through all the damn wires.
Well,
It was me.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about the critic now. This was like right after Jurassic Park came out, and the critic did a gag about Jurassic Park 2, Revenge of the Raptors, as they called it. And
they weren't terribly wrong.
No, they weren't. And then the John Hammond character and the Ian Malcolm character are like, you can't trap a raptor in a broom closet, they're too smart. And then the raptor like puts like a magazine under the door and like knocks the keys out. and then the raptor gets out, and they're like, you may have us, but you'll never get to the mainland. And the raptor's like, I beg to differ. See, while I've been with raptors have been building a crude suspension bridge to Venezuela, where I will take on a number of odd jobs under the name of Mr. Pilkington, but perhaps I've said too much. I'm like, it's so just kind of keeps going. But anyway, yeah, so there are raptors popping in and out.
You see the little frilled one?
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, the little spitter one.
Yeah.
You see like a couple of those, and they actually shoot water at you because of course they do.
Well, of course, it's fun. We're having fun.
It's a theme park ride. Of course they do.
What are you, a communist? Just enjoy yourself.
So you wind around this ooky spooky building. There's raptors everywhere. You turn the corner, and obviously you're about to get to the big drop, and you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And just as you're like breaching, like the drop point, like the edge, this big old T-Rex head like pops out and looms over you.
And it's like a full-size T-Rex.
Yeah, it's a biggone.
Yeah, it's like life-sized.
And then you go down the drop, and everybody gets wet, and then you're just wet in a dry park for the rest of the day. It's my favorite thing. Fucking hate it.
I was gonna say, I remember. I think we had that conversation when we were at Universal Studios. Like, was that a year ago or was that 2 years ago?
It's the last time that we went to Disney/Universal. So, like, yeah, I guess 2 years ago.
Yeah, I just remembered us just like, do we want to do Jurassic Park? Like, I like it, but
but I don't want to get fucking soaked.
I don't want to get wet.
It was that one. It was like the Kali Rapid Rivers in Animal Kingdom, and I'm just like, I hate wet rides in dry parks. It's a bad concept. Like, I don't like it.
You people know what you did. God, that's funny. Yeah, that is the long or the short of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that little recap. Yeah,
they're fairly similar in both Hollywood Studios and Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Studios Orlando. I think maybe the biggest difference was it might have been a little bit bigger, a little bit longer in Orlando, just because they have more space there. Because the Hollywood one is fucking cramped.
Yeah, they're pretty similar structurally, and they have a lot of the same animatronics. I remember the one in Osaka, and I could be wrong. I could be getting this conflated with a different memory, but I remember the one in Osaka. It wasn't just the head of the
Hold on. What was that? You cut out a little bit.
Did I cut out? Okay. It was a full body T-Rex in Osaka.
Really?
Yeah, like with legs and everything.
Yeah, legs and everything.
And that thing, gets close to you, like shockingly close. It always, and of course, and that combined with a drop, I always thought was a really fun. It's exhilarating because your attention is on the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And then your stomach just drops out because you're just like, because now you're falling. Mm-hmm. Or rather, I guess your stomach is up. Either way, shit's moving around.
It's not where it's supposed to be.
No. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good ride. It's got its issues, you know. It's short. It's
A little short.
a little short.
But at the time, like we said, it was pretty fucking impressive with the animatronics at the time. And it was beloved. Like it became a classic ride for Universal Studios,
I believe there was, back when Jurassic World came out, some guys rode the Jurassic Park ride from morning until sundown. And I think they broke the record for like most times on a theme park ride. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Jurassic Park. What's that?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Record. Yeah.
Did they have to get in line every single time, or did they work something out with Universal where they just got to stay on the ride?
I don't know, because Devin and Chelsea. Oh, okay. No, this is cute. This one was this was the record, and it was these two people, Devin and Chelsea, and apparently at one point, Devin, I assume, proposed to Chelsea, which is nice. Mm-hmm. But they wrote it 62 times.
God.
Like, I don't. Okay, here's the one I remember seeing. It's Jake and Dave.
Mm-hmm.
They just wrote it for 12 hours straight.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I like dinosaurs. I don't like them that much.
No. And just to do the same, like, a 5-minute ride?
Down and up and down.
Oh my god, that drop? Like, having to do that drop how many times in a row? No, thank you.
No,
Also, I guess they're just wet all day?
I guess, yeah. Well, I remember by the end of the video, they were just like, fucking kill me.
Yeah, it seems awful. No, thank you. No, thank you.
No. What? No. No.
Yeah, that's awful.
That you're kind of stuck on that.
It's just like, I also feel like, what a way to ruin a ride. Like,
oh yeah.
My favorite ride, one of my favorite things in the whole world is the Haunted Mansion. I don't know if I would do that for the Haunted Mansion. If for nothing else, I wouldn't want to risk ruining my enjoyment of that ride.
Right, because like at a certain point, you're like, not only do I not want to ride this anymore, I don't even want to think about the Haunted Mansion anymore.
Yeah. It's like when you eat something, but then get sick, and so you can never eat it again, because even if it didn't make you sick, you have that association.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like it would just be that. I
mean, I got turned off of fish for like the better part of 2 years because I had a really bad, microwaved fish fillet.
Yeah.
And I love sushi. So, yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer. But yeah, so anyway, classic ride. And because the Jurassic World movies came out, and you and I have both seen those movies, and we have our opinions of them.
Boy, they sure put those to film.
They sure do have approximations of what we thought dinosaurs were like in the 80s in them.
Damn, those are on Chris Pratt's resume. Yeah.
Claire Dearing's hair, or Bryce Dallas Howard's hair is on point in that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She smears poop on herself in the extra credits.
Great.
Yeah. And it's like, they're trying to play it for laughs and kind of make it weirdly sexy. Like, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And it's so awkward and awful.
It's made worse by the fact that there's a segment of people out there that are like, yes.
Yes, please.
Yes. Like, oh no.
That and of course, but regardless of our feelings of it, those movies are very popular and they do exceptionally well at the box office.
I mean, we paid money to see them, so like
We
fuck
did.
us, right?
Right. We went to the draft house. That was the second time I saw it because I had seen it already with the One of Us crew for review.
Yeah, we went and we saw it the night before we left to go to Disney.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I left angry. For Jurassic World 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, like, as the movie started, I was like, oh, right, this fucking thing. I need a drink. And
Yeah, boy, you got a little bit blitzed that night.
I had to get through it.
Yup.
Anyway, one thing I will say is the Jurassic World video game, the Park Builder video game, not bad.
Man, yeah.
It's good time. And they also, hey, you know what? Mattel makes some pretty badass Jurassic Park toys nowadays.
So at least there's that.
They're a hell of a lot better than those shitty Hasbro toys they put out back when Jurassic World 1 came out. Fuck me. Anyway.
I should show you my collection of old dinosaur toys. I'm sure they're like 90% like inaccurate because they're all from our childhoods, but
like who cares? Like I love I love vintage dinosaur toys.
Yeah, I'll break that up sometime.
Let's do a video about it. Let's do a dinosaur, like I'll bring my dinosaur toys, you bring your dinosaur toy. I want to do this so bad now.
That'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that. We'll make a video of that.
Anyway.
So the ride in recent years has certainly seen some better fucking days.
Oh yeah.
Like, Universal has this bad habit of just, if they lose interest in a ride, they just kind of let it go.
Yeah, I mean, especially...
They upkeep it enough for it to, like, be safe and functional, but it's got issues, you know?
Yeah. And it's especially tragic for something like Jurassic Park, which is a flagship IP for Universal in general. Yeah. But those like movies... Sorry?
I was just going to say, like I said, in terms of Universal rides, that's a classic.
Right.
You know?
But the problem is that the franchise fell off at a certain point, and people kind of stopped thinking about it and watching it and stuff. I mean, there were people like have always been Jurassic Park fans. Like there are people on forums and stuff who, make databases for action figures or whatever. And then I think, and that's what was so brilliant about the Jurassic World films is that they came out right at that sweet spot where an entire generation had grown up on the original film specifically.
Yeah.
And so, but before that whole whatever that passed for a franchise was basically just treading water, so to speak.
Yeah. I feel like a problem that Universal has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just realizing this now, so I'm talking through it. But I feel like a problem that they have is that they seem to equate film and franchises, like current box office and I guess home sale like success, like 1-to-1 with their rides almost.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I think they fail to realize that while those two things can be connected, there is a very big difference. Like there is specifically a theme park culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it's like, if something is popular at the theme park, it really doesn't always matter if that movie is still culturally relevant, because because the ride is a part of the theme park culture, not pop culture anymore. It's the reason why Disney can still make bank on things like the Peter Pan ride or like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or all those classic rides where it's like, when was the last time that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was a huge pop culture thing? It's a landmark, yes, but it's not like in the public's, like the front of the public's mind at all times these days. And yet, they still have like Snow White's Scary Adventures at Disneyland.
Right.
because it's part of the theme park culture, and I don't think Universal quite understands that all the time.
It's one of the reasons why I think that the Osaka model is so interesting, because in Osaka they have their core rides that they've had for a long time. I mean, a couple of them have been cycled out. Like, they don't have the Back to the Future ride anymore, for example.
Yeah.
But they have Jaws, Jurassic Park. They of course put in a Harry Potter one.
Mhm.
And there's a few others that I'm struggling to remember, but they have the Terminator one. They got a lot of what people would consider to be older rides that they keep in really good condition.
Yeah.
But to capitalize on new stuff, they have essentially these revolving door attractions where in the summertime, like the Godzilla, like last episode we talked about Godzilla versus Evangelion.
Yeah.
That's just going to be a temp ride. Like it's just like a 4D movie, and you go see it, and it's only going to be there for a few months, and then they're going to cycle it out. And they have the same thing with Monster Hunter, and they have a Sailor Moon thing, they have a Detective Conan thing,
Mhm.
and they'll just cycle them out, and they'll keep their core rides. And then the popular IP stuff, they'll just drop in and drop out, which I think makes a little more sense.
Yeah, and if something becomes like popular and long lasting enough, then they can think about making it some kind of permanent ride. But they don't have to switch a ride every single time something goes a little out of vogue.
Right, which is, like you said, that's really the one of the big problems that Universal America has anyway.
Yeah. It's like I said, there is specifically theme park culture. Like, it is people who are fans of the theme parks. And yeah, there's a lot of crossover, especially with Disney. Usually people who are fans of the parks are often fans of the movies and the IPs, but they're separate. They're still separate things. You know, and again, just because a movie is no longer in theaters or selling well at home, or like it's not in the immediate public consciousness, doesn't mean the ride itself is defunct. It's a different property almost at that point.
And of course, we also have to acknowledge that theme parks are expensive, and you want to try to entice people to come to the park, and sometimes that means putting in new stuff.
Yes.
And maybe cycling out older stuff that's, in some ways maybe not relevant anymore, or even if it's not relevant, it just maybe the ride never really worked to begin with. I would be surprised if they ever got rid of that ET ride, although granted, I know you wouldn't be losing any sleep over that.
Nope. Not a bit.
For those y'all who don't know, Rebekah ET.
I hate ET.
I believe I started chasing you around the park with any ET doll I could find.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. Not a fan.
Yep.
Don't like
and
it.
Yet.
I don't like his design. I don't really like the movie. No.
No. That's fine.
But yeah, that's not to say that rides can never change. You know, obviously you pay attention to, are people really riding this? Are people really like, is this really drawing people to it? But it also doesn't mean that like, oh, this movie's not popular anymore, better completely demolish this, or at best forget about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they got rid of Confrontation and replaced it with what is apparently a pretty good ride, which is the Mummy ride.
Oh, the coaster?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the coaster.
The Mummy one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently it's supposed. I haven't been on it, but apparently it's supposed to be pretty good. But Kong is one of those IPs that, like, even if it's not a modern or super relevant IP, it's still this thing that's always in the public consciousness. Like, everyone knows who and what King Kong is.
Yeah, and it was a pretty solid fucking ride. Like,
yeah,
a good ride is a good ride.
Exactly. And then, like, they took it away, and they've replaced it with what is a pretty objectively inferior ride with the Skull Island ride.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because, you know me, I'm a big Kong fan, and of course you and I had a long episode on Disaster Quest on during Skyward Sword where we talked about Kong, and we talked about your impressions of it as someone who is not a Kong fan, and it was pretty eye-opening, I have to say. So if you guys get a chance, go see if you can dig that one up. I have no idea which episode it is.
I got nothing. If somebody knows, put it in the comments, I guess.
If somebody knows, I'm sorry.
Sorry you watched us play that much Skyward Sword.
So, on the subject of Jurassic Park, though.
Yeah. So the whole point of that conversation was that Universal kind of let Jurassic Park the ride go. Mm-hmm. Like, it was seeing some wear and tear that was not, yeah.
It was
not looking great.
It was rotting in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, the Jurassic World comes out.
Yes.
And it makes all the money.
All the money.
All the money. I remember Chris Pratt's kind of half joking when people were asking him about the sequels, he was like, oh, they want to make like 37 sequels.
I bet they do.
Oh, yeah. So it really was only a matter of time before Universal finally said, like, oh, we can do something with this now.
Yeah. So like Jurassic World came out, did bonkers at, the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jurassic World 2 came out. Also did pretty fucking well. And so, yeah, Universal's like, okay, 2 films are out and doing well. Let's do this.
Yeah. And they had a big 25th anniversary celebration at Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Jurassic Park's 25th anniversary.
Oh.
So they had it at Universal Studios. I know for a fact that Laura Dern was there.
Aww.
Yeah.
Laura Dern.
I think several actors were there, including Laura Dern. They had a bunch of props from the movie as well. I'm gonna look that up.
She's a blessing, and we don't deserve her.
No, we don't. And I've always kind of low key had a crush on her.
How can you not?
I'm a red-blooded American. Universal Studios. Let's see. They had 20th anniversary at Universal Studios. So in attendance there was a couple of the people working on Jurassic World, of course, like Colin Trevorrow, and Slain rapper Kid Cali's brother shot in. No, I don't want that.
What?
It started like taking me to other. Oh, it's because I'm not subscribed to this website.
Oh, fuck that.
God damn it. Okay, I'll go to one of the other thousands of free websites.
Yeah, see how well that went for you website?
Mm-hmm.
Not. Yeah.
Nope. Okay, so yeah, Friday, May 11th, 7 p.m. to 12:40 a.m.
God damn.
Park entry beginning at 5:30. They had a movie screening at the Universal Cinema at 10:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had it again on May 12th. And wow, tickets were $69.
Wow. Nice.
Guest ages 2 and under get in free. You want to bring your 2-year-olds?
Yeah. Watch a man get his head bit off. For the kids.
So yeah, it was I know that Jeff Goldblum was there, and I'm 90% certain that Laura Dern was there. So they did a big to-do, and I believe that was when they announced we're closing the ride forever, and we are refurbishing it.
That sounds like a bummer to end that night on.
Right?
Like, everybody celebrate Jurassic Park, now say goodbye. Like, oh, all right.
Like, Just it's like holding a gun to a dog's head as everyone leaves around the party.
Go, everybody out.
I think it's a South Park joke too, where it's like, "You kids, shut up, or I'm gonna kill this bunny." Anyway,
Oh, jeez.
so that's what they did, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna refurbish the ride. They are not just gonna refurbish the ride; they're gonna rebrand that Jurassic Park area into a Jurassic World area."
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm kind of like, must we?
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I know we talked about it, and I was like, man, I got mixed feelings, because, like, on one end, not a Jurassic World fan. Don't really want it to be Jurassic World. On the other, if this means it doesn't kind of look like shit anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A win, you know?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was very torn because you and I mean, we talked extensively about what they could do differently with the Jurassic World area.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, we've talked extensively about what they could fucking do at Dinoland USA at Disney, because that also has a problem. And yeah, we're like, what could both of these parks do that would just be better? Not this?
Not this. Whatever it is, it's not this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So recently, as in, like, well, at the time of recording this week, but who knows when.
Right. Who knows when all this is going to go up.
Yeah. But as of recording this week, the ride has reopened. It has had its grand reopening, and it's kind of the same ride.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, and as a quick addendum, I believe it's only the Hollywood ride that's been that's the only one that's open now.
Okay, but they are refurbishing the Florida one?
As I understand it, yes, because that was where they I'll have to do some research, but I believe that they're refurbishing both.
Okay.
Hold
Not
on.
that it's the biggest of deals either way, but
yeah. But yeah, it's more or less the same ride.
it's kind of the same. So like big differences. Big differences right at the beginning. So we talked about how in the original ride you go through the big gates and there's like the big brachiosaur like opening scene.
Yeah,
like that was the wow factor.
No, 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 no. And and they do the whole "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
It's like I'm really there.
That brachiosaur is taking a long time to move.
It's because it's so big.
It's so big. But yeah.
But so they pretty much removed all that. And now it is like an aquarium scene almost for give me the name. That's it.
The mosasaur, which is not a dinosaur. Which is one of the things that drives me a little crazy because the first thing you see when you go up the ramp is this plaque of these letters that have been fused into this wall, this rock wall, and there's a big mosasaur skeleton on the wall.
Yeah.
And it says, "When dinosaurs ruled the earth." And I'm like, that's technically true. That's not a dinosaur, though.
Yeah. General rule of thumb, if it flew or lived in the ocean, wasn't a dinosaur, technically.
Technically.
But it's that's technically not a wrong statement. It's just it's giving you a time and place, but if you don't know, it could be misleading. Still looks fucking cool, though.
It's very cool, and I really do, and you and I both commiserated on this, that the mosasaur section is the strongest of the updates.
Yes, because basically what it is that it's a very long row, basically like a long tunnel of screens, of like these high definition screens that just like, it goes on, like they're huge.
Yeah.
It legitimately looks like you're going past glass in an aquarium.
they did an excellent job of really fooling you, tricking your eye.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there's interactive elements because like the mosasaur is so huge it leaves like a wake.
Yeah.
Which
They spray you with water because they gotta spray you with water.
like
Theme park rides.
yeah, like and at one point this seems like something they should have ironed out in the testing phase. The mosasaur at one point sees you and tries to ram the wall of the tank to
Yeah.
get at you,
Mm-hmm.
and cracks a hole in.
It immediately cracks.
And it's like, oh, I'm being sprayed with water, haha. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I almost died.
Yeah. Well,
We almost all died.
I just have to laugh at that because it's like, dude, that should have been alpha tested. Like, you put in glass with a giant sea creature and didn't even bother to like punch it. You didn't think about how big this thing is. Like, fucking come on. That's problem number one is what if this thing hits the fucking glass?
I mean, they wanted that moment, and
Yeah.
I get that. They wanted that like.
It's a ride moment, yeah.
Right. It's Jurassic Park. It's a giant the whole this is the thing that I think people tend to forget, and I certainly think that the people I certainly think the people who made the sequels seem to forget is that the entire point of the original Jurassic Park film is that Jurassic Park shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. But here we are. It's a franchise.
Here again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you get out of the mosasaur area.
Hmm? And you are in the Stegosaur Cove. So like everything before that is gone now, just bypassed with the mosasaur stuff.
Right.
So you're in the Stegosaur Cove, and they've got nice, brand new, like nicely painted animatronics. They look real nice. Like,
yeah, I think they redid the skin on them at the very least.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Like, yeah, they look excellent.
Yeah.
The little baby's adorable looking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the two stegosaurs, the baby and the mama, and then there's the like duck-bill one that still like pops up. Yeah, it pops up out of the water. It startles everybody, sprays you with water, fucking again.
Yeah, somebody up the chain must have heard that people like being sprayed with water on this ride. Not that anyone actually said that, he just heard that.
Yeah. In a dream.
Yes, absolutely. So, my God.
My God. Woke up in a cold sweat.
To me. Yeah. And I do have to say though, I feel like that's sort of where the ride takes a pretty sharp dip. You open up into the stegosaur area, and the first thing you see is this one baby stegosaur on top of a cliff, and there's no other dinosaurs.
Yeah,
there are 3 animatronics in this area. I don't even think those little Scotosauruses are even in that area anymore.
I don't think so. I think it's just the 3.
And it kind of deflates the wonder and awe of nature aspect that Jurassic Park kind of always opened with. Like even in Jurassic World, and even in Fallen Kingdom, there's this moment. There's that kind of awe of nature moment.
Yeah.
Where say what you will about the first Jurassic World, but there actually is a pretty good line by the guy who plays the new CEO, the Simon Masrani guy. He's the guy who essentially took over the control of the corporation from Hammond. Yeah. He's got a pretty good line where he says, "Jurassic World exists to show us to remind us how small we really are." And I feel like that's accurate, and I feel like this ride doesn't do that.
Well, it's so funny because it's almost doing the thing that the first movie played for laughs, where they go through the big Jurassic Park gate, and it plays the music, and it's inspiring, and oh my god, we're gonna see dinosaurs, and then they're like, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are the dinosaurs?
And
that's kind of the joke.
Right, yeah, wow, I hadn't even thought of that. That's really kind of funny. It's like, yeah, where are the dinosaurs? And I get it, like, they really wanted to push the mosasaur because, the mosasaur was a big selling point of the new movie, and it's fine. It's fine.
But it definitely feels like they kind of blew their load there, because that part's really cool, and then you're like, then nothing else like this.
And then the rest.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, from there, it's fairly similar from the rest of the way, just with some nicer, like, cleaned up show scenes, and then a couple more animatronics in the ending section.
Right, where
everything looks a little bit cleaner, like it looks a little more like the architecture from Jurassic World. And then there's just extra animatronics in the dark building scene.
Well, now in the original ride, as we talked, the building is sort of like this. It's almost like an afterthought. It's just supposed to be this scary industrial building that the raptors have gotten loose in, and then the T-Rex pops out.
But if you think about it, you're like, what the fuck is this building?
What is this, and why can the boat go through it?
Why can the boat go through it? Why does it go uphill into the building, and then there's like a drop? Like, who built this and why?
Right, and in this, they've recontextualized it to being, this is Predator Cove. This is where the predators all are. And, like, specifically, this is supposed to be part of the tour. But the Indominus Rex has escaped.
Yeah.
Which is
as have all the raptors and everything.
Apparently. And all the Dilophosaurs, apparently, too. Because there's like 2 or 3 Dilophosaurs.
Many.
Which, interesting side note, so the Dilophosaurus, as everybody knows them, as kind of the little spitter guys from the first movie.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, not only, I mean, it's sort of a given that there was no evidence that they could spit like that, and that they had furls or any of that. That's all made up for the movie to make them scarier. Or it's made up for the, technically it was also started in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, Dilophosauruses at their full size were like 20 feet long. Like, they're big dinosaurs.
They're not the little chickens.
No, they're like Allosaur sized. Yeah. They could just snap. They would just snap you in half. But yeah, the
You want to know another fun fact about those?
Tell me.
The animatronics also spit water at you. Don't worry, they didn't forget.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God, the ride would have been ruined.
I would have given this multi-million-dollar ride experience a 0 out of 5 stars on Yelp if I didn't get sprayed by a rubber
third time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, and apparently, I didn't notice this until, like, I watched the video for a separate time, but one of the raptors is blue.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them's supposed to be blue, which I don't think we noticed the first time because the first video we saw was dark as fuck. Like, it just goes black for part of the video.
It goes really dark, and then...
So, whoever did the second video had a better camera.
Wasn't that the first one was, like, you called it the Ubisoft crowd ride?
Yeah, I was like, oh, they got the Ubisoft crowd on this ride, I see.
Because there's like these guys on this ride who are just like, oh my God!
For nothing. Nothing.
We're going down a slight dip!
Yeah, the boat, like, moved, and they're like, woo! I'm just like, okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Calm down.
This is fine. That was stupid. For no reason.
It wasn't Ubisoft, it was Bethesda.
Bethesda, that's it. It's some hack game company. Although I know you're feeling Bethesda these days. You're feeling Ubisoft these days because you playing with your girlfriend.
Hey, I'm just loving I'm just feeling Assassin's Creed Odyssey, man.
Got a girlfriend.
No,
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that final DLC to drop.
Ew, nice. Yeah, I've just
And
been
then,
playing.
sadly, I'll be done with it.
Oh, I've just been playing
done
Breath of the
everything.
Wild again because I finally have a Switch.
Yeah, I've been doing the same.
Yeah. Well,
Back on our bullshit.
yeah. We play Zelda games on the internet. Oh yeah, what do you do when you're not doing stuff for your channel? Playing Zelda games.
Zelda games.
Okay. So anyway.
Anyway.
So yeah, and then the Indominus. It's clear that they spent all their money on this new Indominus Rex.
Well, the leftover money from the Mosasaur.
Well, yeah, because the Indominus, they've dressed up this I almost feel like the people who worked on this new version of the ride must have gone to Disney a couple of times and ridden the Countdown to Extinction dinosaur ride.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what that top section feels like. It feels like this nighttime jungle setting.
Yeah, but not as good.
Yeah, less intense and less entertaining and less everything.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we're just being honest.
Yeah.
And that being said, they have two Indominus animatronics, and they're both just the heads.
Yeah, it's mostly the head, maybe a tiny bit of the neck and torso, but that's it. That's it.
It pops in at one point and it goes rawr. And then it pops in again towards the end, and it sort of turns and goes rawr, and then the same T-Rex comes out, and then you go down the drop.
Yeah, it's like they didn't really change the ride to incorporate it. They just kind of stuck it in there.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It feels very cheap. And and the thing is, that character is kind of irrelevant anyway, because, and I'm speaking as somebody who bought the $50 Indominus Rex action figure that recently came out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. It roars. And it glows for some reason.
Why not?
It's you gotta justify that price tag somehow.
Yeah, fucking toys. Why not?
Yeah. But that character is so it's already passé even in the movie universe, because and the Indoraptor was the same way in the new one. It was it's like the Indominus, but it's smaller and it's more evil.
It's a little sad because you can tell they really want to make another popular dinosaur like the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And in a way, they've kind of done it, just not with the ones they keep trying to push. The Mosasaur became popular because it was fucking different. And the Raptors became popular,
Yeah, it's because it's a couple of buddies of mine say this online a lot.
The Raptors were always popular. They were already scary from the first movie. You just gave them a name now.
Right, the Raptors are actual characters now.
Well, one of them is.
One of them is.
The others are just eeny, meeny, miny, and mo at this point. It's eeny, meeny, miny, and blue.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Raptors.
Although they have action figures of all four Raptors. Actually, I kind of liked that they did this. This is deep lore Jurassic Park stuff.
Go on.
At Universal, at Walmart and stuff, if you go to their little Jurassic World toy section, not only can you buy figures of Blue and Charlie and Echo and Delta, who are the four raptors from the movie, you can also buy a male raptor.
Okay.
Because the male raptors in the Jurassic Park universe have been established to have little quills on their head.
Look at that.
Yeah. So now you can get that light variant.
There you go.
I don't know. I just thought it's nice for the fans. It's just a nice little bone to throw the fans.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah. It's certainly better than it was where the Indominus Rex action figure from the the blue and other raptors in the Hasbro toy line from when Jurassic World came out, they didn't have the attacking claws on their feet.
Great.
They
so,
just
like,
had,
the thing everybody knows them for.
yeah, the thing that people know raptors to have.
I'd be like, we made a Stegosaurus. Where are the things on its back? Why is it smooth?
What are you talking about? The thing that, have you ever seen a Stegosaurus? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is my last day here, and I have completely checked out. Oh man.
Just a smooth Stegosaurus. How sad would it look with their tiny heads?
Well, I'm thinking about like some bullshit with the T-Rex. Like, I'm thinking about some bullshit with the T-Rex. Like, they reveal their new T-Rex action figure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what a T-Rex looks like.
Vaguely at least.
Yeah, you got a general idea of it. Now, and for some reason, somebody said, like, yeah, but those little arms are stupid. Okay, so they just took a couple of He-Man arms and just mashed them onto the model.
Just give him one big old Trogdor arm. Nailed it.
I got it. We'll make $1 million on the YouTubes with that.
Oh, God, they would, though. That's the sad part.
I once worked on a game project where the client wanted like a mutant T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew the mutant T-Rex, and they're like, yeah, okay, but like, can you give him bigger arms? And I'm like, then it's not a T-Rex anymore.
You should have made him bigger, but in like a weird way where it's like, they're just longer. But still like creepily thin.
And they're just kind of dragging across the ground is like, ah yes, the dragging sound of the mighty T-Rex.
Like, you said bigger, you didn't specify.
Yeah, this is your fault. This is on you. Now fucking pay me.
Just wider. Just wider.
Wider.
Really muscular, but equally short.
Oh. Well, apparently a Tyrannosaurus's arms were strong enough to lift a man off the ground and, like, break him in half.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still a 7-ton eating machine.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm not gonna give a shit about its hands.
Like a size comparison's like, well, I would hope it could at least do that. That's like me saying I can break a branch. That doesn't mean I'm fucking strong.
Well, I mean, in fairness, everything about dinosaurs is impressive in comparison to us, you know?
I'm just saying, like, it has a size advantage in that case.
Well, even then, it's not like it would do that to begin with. It would just, like, lift down its head that's the size of a Volkswagen and just bite you in half.
Yeah, no, as though a T-Rex is gonna pick you up and take you to another T-Rex and be like, Jerry, look what I can do. No, watch. No, watch. Look, Jerry, watch. Jerry.
Jerry, hey, come on, man.
Jerry, you watch it? Oh, yeah, you are. Forget our fucking eyes are on the side of our head. Okay, my bad, Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry, I forgot. We are nightmares. Oh, I love dinosaurs.
They're good.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, that's the extent of the Jurassic World refurbishment.
Yeah, you guys got the experience now. You don't even need to go.
Yeah. Like, so, pros about the ride, like, good points.
Yeah.
Mosasaur area is fucking cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
And like I was saying to you, one of my biggest complaints about the Kong ride was that it's just all fucking screens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all screens.
Very cheap, very quick. They literally put it in because they were mad that Warner Brothers was making a new Kong movie and not them.
Mm-hmm. So, like, they put you in a screen and then shake you around a bunch. But as I was talking about the Jurassic Park ride, I was like, this is how you use screens in your ride.
Yes.
Is that you use them to do something that you could not otherwise do with any kind of practical effect.
Yes, I agree.
You could not have built an aquarium. You could not have built a fucking mosasaur, like, animatronic.
Like a
That's
giant... Yeah, and not to mention, like, the animation on the mosasaur is beautiful. Like, it looks alive.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is how and why you implement, like, television screens in a ride. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that everything looked like it was cleaned up, it was maintained. I appreciated some of the extra, like, kind of building set dressing stuff. I know you didn't like it that much.
I felt like it was a little overdone. I sort of liked the bare industrialized look of the original one because it was scarier, but it does do better storytelling visually.
Yeah, I thought it did better storytelling. I also thought it made it feel a little more populated in the area that just didn't have any animatronics, just because there was at least stuff there.
Right.
But was there any other good stuff?
I mean, they kept stuff, like they they updated the existing dinosaurs.
Yeah. Like, again, like they refurbished all the existing animatronics that they didn't take out, at least for the mosasaur, but like they look good. It's nice to see them not look janky and not moving sometimes.
Yeah.
In terms of neutral stuff, it's a very short ride.
Yeah.
I can't knock too many points just because, especially for the Hollywood one, like, that park is so cramped, they don't have room to make it longer.
Yeah.
You know, it's a short ride. I just wish they would utilize the space a little bit more if it's going to be so short.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's like some sections that are pretty barren.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's that whole section. It's like they're trying to build up the appearance of the predators and the Indominus and the T-Rex and everything.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we haven't seen that many dinosaurs to begin with, so we're already we were wowed by the mosasaur, and then the rest of it's kind of like, okay,
where are they?
Yeah.
And yeah, and like I was telling you, is like it still feels kind of barren and empty, and those screens in the beginning with the mosasaur is so impressive looking that I was like, but it feels out of place compared to the rest of the ride. That I was like, they should have implemented some more screen technology throughout the ride, maybe as like background elements to make things feel a little more lived in. Like, use it if you can't put an animatronic in somewhere, find a way to kind of like sneakily put in a screen or do something like that. Like, I know excuse me, Countdown to Extinction, the dinosaur ride, it's got like projections of little bitty dinosaurs scurrying across branches and stuff like that, just to make it feel more dense and lived in,
Yeah, originally those, I know exactly what you're talking about. They were basically troodons or Compsognathus or something. They were smaller predatory dinosaurs, but they were originally, what they did was in order to simulate them jumping, they just had them little still models of the dinosaurs, and they were like in mid jump, and like light would flash on them briefly to kind of give the impression of them jumping.
Yeah, and you go by, that ride is faster, granted, so you go by them so fast, so all that with the strobe effect kind of made it look like they were moving.
Yeah. And then later they integrated the screens.
Yeah, it's such a simple solution. Like, you can do stuff like that. It doesn't break the effect if it's not an animatronic. I'm fully aware these aren't real dinosaurs.
What?
Oh God, we have to end the call.
No. I'm just like, Morgan! Not real dinosaurs! Sorry, I just, hold on.
Who's doing a bit?
Hold on, I have to take a picture of something. Just a second.
Uh-oh.
The dog is doing something. I have to take a picture. Hold on.
Matt's dog is doing something very cute. And now I'm here. How's everybody doing?
I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Yeah, no,
All right, everybody shut up about what I said.
everybody. All the people who are, here with us.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to send this to you via Messenger, and I just want you to see it and react to it on mic.
Okay.
There you go. I just sent it to you.
There it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a picture. Thing. Oh. Oh, what a good horse.
My dog has this pillow attached to her new bed, and it's like she can't quite figure out how to sleep with this thing, so she's just burrowed under it.
If I remember, I will put this on the video so people can see it. So if I'm not lazy, you'll be looking at it right now.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, those were the pros. Oh, those were the neutrals, where it was kind of short, and yeah. Were there any other neutral aspects?
No, I think that's about it. It's mostly like it's short, but I don't want to dock points because like they don't have more space.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a common thing with a lot of rides, especially at Universal. They tend to be a little on the short side.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so then cons. We already just touched on one, which is it's kind of sparse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as grand as like it should be after the Mosasaur area.
Yeah, it feels like the rest of it's sort of an afterthought, and they made a big deal about how the T-Rex and the Indominus were going to fight. They don't fight. Obviously.
They don't. They just kind of hang out.
You're like, meh, and you're kind of, meh. Back around to the positives, though, I will say that I appreciated that both Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard make appearances in the videos before the ride.
They do, yeah. And during the ride.
And during the ride, yeah. But even then, it's kind of like, who cares? Because those characters are so immediately forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, well, rather, Chris Pratt's character, everybody just knows him as Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it's not really his character. It's, there's Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond that, though, yeah, it's short. They took out a lot of animatronics. Well, there's just not very many dinosaurs in it.
Yeah. They could have they especially could have put way more, like, screens and stuff in the dark area, because you can hide shit way better in the dark. You can really disguise that something is a screen to play something,
Right. And I was about to say, like, oh, well, you can't really do that because of the still there's exposure to water and everything. But then I was like, but they did that with the Mosasaur thing, so they can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, like, and it seems so awkward in a lot of it. Like the blue animatronic is just kind of standing there.
Yeah, like none of the carnivores really do anything except for that one with the wires.
Oh yeah,
that guy.
Still, Jerry is still there. He's still working on your duct installations.
Yeah,
he's a contractor.
I think they kept him there. Like I would bet you money he is like a fan favorite of that ride, and that's why they kept him there.
Oh, I absolutely would believe it. I'm sad.
Fair enough. Keep him. Yes, he's amazing. He's doing good work.
You're doing the Lord's work, Jerry.
Good. But yeah, and it's like for a scene that's supposed to be like kind of scary and kind of claustrophobic and like, ooh shit, you're surrounded by carnivores, it feels like there's a raptor. There's another raptor.
There's
a T-Rex.
Ooh, it's me.
Yeah. Like, it's a very slow boat ride, so you're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I compared a lot to Dinosaur because, like, the whole concept is thematically a little similar, where it's like, oh shit. Like, you're racing against the clock to get out of here now, and there's, like, carnivores around you.
Yeah, there's dinosaurs, and dinosaurs they gonna eat you.
Which, granted, again, dinosaur is a faster ride. You're in a faster vehicle. It's not a boat ride. But the decision to make it a boat ride was still a decision at some point, where it's like, was that the best decision to start with?
I mean, I kind of appreciate it. Well, see, it worked best, I felt, in the old version because it was supposed to be this kind of lazy boat ride where you're hanging out with dinosaurs in this kind of swampy, uh, um, tropical environment, and it felt like for a split moment, it felt like you are 65 million years in the past and you're in a natural environment filled with dinosaurs. And then thematically, I feel like the older ride, I think the newer ride maybe has some stronger storytelling elements to it, but the older ride is stronger thematically.
Yeah.
Does that seem accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate the way that the lazy boat ride feels in the beginning section because it does add to that kind of feeling. I just feel like they wanted to make the second half of the ride like intense and kind of scary, and that kind of clashes with the entire concept of a lazy boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they can't really just speed up that boat all of a sudden.
Right.
It's not how rides work.
Right.
So
that's not how physics work, kids.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know, they maybe should have just kept it as a ground like Jeep ride. Just put people in a thing that looks like the Jeep from the movie and make it a slow ride at first, but because it's a ground vehicle, they can control and speed it up at the second half of the ride. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thoughts.
It's stressful being smarter than everyone else.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that being said, I feel like it's nice, like you said, that they thought to go ahead and redo the ride and make it a better show, and just make it a stronger overall experience.
Yeah, rather than just like forgetting about it or completely tearing it down and making it another Fast and the Furious ride. Or
eventually,
a fucking Minions
that's all
ride.
Universal's gonna be is just Fast and Furious ride. Simpsons, fuck that. Fast and Furious over here.
Yep.
There's gonna be Fast and the Furious rides for every Fast and the Furious movie. It's just gonna slowly start to chip away at all the other IPs.
The entire park.
Yeah. Actually, I gotta be honest with you. That new Fast and Furious spin-off movie that's coming out, Hobbs and Shaw. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah, not gonna lie, that looks pretty fantastic.
That looks awesome. I want to watch The Rock lead an army of Maori warriors. I guess they're not Maori, but they're like Pacific Islander warriors to fight a superhumanly strong Idris Elba.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds cool. Yeah. I'll give you that.
But everything else, it's like
I always appreciate when a series that originally took itself very seriously goes on for so long that at one point the movies just go, fuck it. Like,
must we though?
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's have some fun with this. That's always a fun turn for any franchise to take.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's the ride. That's Jurassic
Park ride.
Yeah. I mean, we're like I said, it's nice that they redid it. They also added some new elements to the park section itself.
Really? Oh yeah.
They added a new raptor, an interactive raptor exhibit, which is a pretty major improvement on the one they had that you and I stood in line for.
Mm-hmm. Which was still fun.
Yeah, it was a fun little experience. It was a little too goddamn hot to be standing out there, but
yeah, this Florida.
Yeah, and although again, like I'm trash. I'm weeaboo trash, but I'll admit this. But I have to say that the raptor costumes in Universal Osaka are kind of much better than the blue costume they have at Universal Studios Orlando or Hollywood rather. It's really nitpicky for me, but like the there's actually like multiple raptors in the Osaka park, and fast. Like those actors they come out running.
Oh wow!
And they're running around. They're snapping at people. They're like, "Bah!"
They're stealing
and they're
children.
Actually like, yeah, oh yeah, they're terrifying children.
they just grab a child and run.
Shake him like a rag doll. Just
it's
snap a dog out of somebody's arms.
News comes out that it's like, oh, they were just real raptors, huh? Not actors? Okay.
Universal was like, yeah, we mistakes were made. But yeah, and then they very similar to the Osaka experience. They have a Triceratops now,
which looks cool.
Looks cool. Although the way they all come out at the same time in Osaka, and it's the Triceratops comes out first, and everyone's like, "Stay out of Triceratops' way. She's going to be feeding." And then she goes over to like this bush and starts nibbling, and then they're like, "Okay, if you want to come up and pet the Triceratops, you can come up and pet it." And then everyone's like, then they're like, "Oh, please, everybody get back," because like then shit ton of raptors come out. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and they're running around. They're snapping at people. This Triceratops gets real agitated and like starts like shaking its head like it's gonna fight them. And then out of the bushes, a little ways away, a Spinosaurus head comes out.
Oh God!
And roars, and the raptors all run away. And the Triceratops just kind of trots off.
Triceratops is like, "Fuck you!
Fuck you! I got horns.
Fuck you, Steven."
God, cursing Jerry.
Cursing Jerry. I swear to God.
I'll call your dad.
Not my fucking dad.
Only Bibles. Okay, that's enough of that.
Oh boy.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's good. It's good. It's nice that they're giving it a little more attention. It's not better, but I mean it's had some improvements.
I
kind of a lateral move.
I would say it's better, but by a small margin. You know,
it's better that it's not falling apart anymore.
Yeah. So,
which is a pretty low fucking metric. God
damn it, Universal. Make an effort.
Come on. To make an effort to people who don't go very well. The people who go and like patronize your. Anyway, we're gonna be on this for a while.
So that was us talking about theme park stuff.
Yeah, it's so interesting because ever since you and I really started talking about theme parks, I've really gotten into them. And now, like, I watch Defunct Land, and I listen to podcasts about it now. So thanks for that.
Yeah, the inner workings of theme parks are fucking fascinating, man.
Yeah, I still need to get you that transcript of my buddy Skip Peel's theme park kaiju short story that he wrote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the Grendel animatronic that goes haywire. Because a disgruntled employee is using it to destroy the refurbishments they're doing to the park. So the park
it's an actual Scooby-Doo story.
Yeah, it's literally that. And so
that's fun.
So they call in so the company that owns the theme park calls in a kaiju extermination team, which has their own like bioengineered chimera monster that they use to fight the Grendel monster. It's great. I'll send it to you. You'll get a kick out of it.
That's fun.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough of that.
Yeah. I hope people found that interesting because I I love talking about theme park stuff. I think it's fascinating.
It is. It's an interesting world and an interesting mentality, and
I enjoy our discussions on like, hey, this ride has problems. What would we do to fix it, or
Well, I remember when you and I were talking about what could, like, I think after they had announced the Nintendo Land.
Oh yeah.
The rumor was that does Bruno Mars is gay? No. The rumor is that
That's always the rumor.
Of course. No, the rumor was that it was just mostly gonna be Mario, which I'm kind of like, personally, I'm kind of like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just not that big of a Mario guy.
Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I like Mario. I like the aesthetic of the Mario games.
Right.
But Nintendo's got such a rich catalog of IPs.
Yeah, like there could very easily be a Pokemon section. You're leaving money on the table if you don't do a Zelda section.
I mean, same with Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. I personally think that a Metroid Dark Ride would be really cool.
I feel like we talked about this in one of the Skyward Sword episodes, but
we absolutely did, and I don't care.
But maybe we should do another just episode like this where we specifically talk about it, so people don't have to go watch Skyward Sword to hear it.
Why would they?
But yeah, like what the whole theory was like, all right, if we could make an entire park, not just a land, but an entire park based on Nintendo IPs, think of it like the Magic Kingdom at Disney. What would we do?
Yeah, and maybe we'll talk about that sometime. We'll have ourselves a nice little dialogue, a little back and forth. Yeah, just have a dialogue about it, eh? Aye. You got some smoke. You need some smoke detectors in here. That's a flammable. Sorry, I'm making what we do in the shadows references.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I hope people like these episodes. Let us know if you do, because it's kind of all we can do until we're able to actually see each other as real people in real life.
Yeah, and it might be a hot minute before that. I mean, we might literally. There's a chance. Not that I want this to be the case. I like you, Rebekah, and I want to spend.
Would hope.
Yeah, I would want to spend time around you, but there's a possibility you and I we may not have the time to actually be in the same room until we're in fucking LA.
Until we're in a plane thousands of miles in the air together.
And we can't. And now we're stuck with each other.
Stuck.
Anyway.
But I guess that's the other thing is that we are going to be going to Disneyland come August. So
we're going specifically for the 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
Yeah. We got those exclusive event tickets too.
I know. I'm so excited.
Shit, we gotta get costumes.
I ordered that dress.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. I need to go to Lucy in Disguise and find something to wear.
So I'm not doing a costume, I'm doing a nice spooky dress.
Well, that's kind of what I mean, is that I'm looking for I'm just looking for something that's sort of Victorian, what a Victorian ghost would wear. Mm-hmm. So I'll see. I just want a nice vest. Nice. It's gonna be tricky for me because I'm also I'm going to be going with my con rollout because I'm staying in LA for a week so I can go to Japan World Heroes. My fucking life.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I don't know if people want to see any videos or pictures from that.
That'd be
also
fun.
Let us know and we'll try to upload some here or to the Facebooks or something like that.
Yeah. I think that would be fun to kind of we'll take some video and put together a little compilation or something. That could be fun.
Do some little mini vlogs or stuff like that.
We should just do videos panning shots of the different parks, and then not in the focus of the shot, but just every now and then
just me dead on the ground somewhere.
I was gonna say I'm face down on the ground.
One of us.
One of us is just, and we're not even centered. We're not the center of attention. It's just kind of in the bottom part of the frame.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's good content.
Okay.
Oh boy. Anyway,
All right.
so we will see you folks whenever we see you. Who knows?
Bye.
Bye.